What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of review for Demon Slayer Season 2. This is episode 10, and with me, as always, I have Blue Spade.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how Ufotable keeps topping themselves. Almost each and every week, we keep watching this show.
I was honestly shocked at just how how it was actually I would go as far as to say this is probably the best Demon Slayer's ever looked. Like in terms of animation, in terms of just the art style, it's never looked better than this, in my opinion. Some people might argue otherwise, but I think I think this is probably the best I've ever seen it. I've ever seen the series look.
And what's also confusing. Well, I don't know how to say it, but apparently some fans who have read the manga are saying that this is still not the best that Ufotable has done so far. There's potentially like a storyline further ahead that'll potentially top this one.
I mean, I could see it happening at this point because, like, if Ufotable's proven us anything, it's that they continuously can improve upon everything they've done, even when it seems like they just can't outdo themselves anymore. They just keep proving us wrong time and time again. So I mean, I believe it, honestly. Like, I would believe it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So the episode starts off immediately after the last episode, where Tanjiro is falling off a building, and he ends up surviving his fall, by the way. And by the time he wakes up to the entire town just engulfed in flames. Just it's almost entirely reminiscent to what happened at the end of Fate Zero, just visually, overall, how grim and destructive the whole environment looks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and also just Fate Zero, Fate Stay Night. Yeah, it reminds you of the Fate series for sure, because with the burning buildings.
Yeah. So Tanjiro is still recovering. Well, Tengen is incapacitated after he got his left arm cut off. Zenitsu's stuck underneath rubble, and Inosuke is just pretty much completely out of it after he got stabbed in the chest by Gyutaro, and then Gyutaro just pretty much ends up mocking Tanjiro almost endlessly in this scene, to the point where he ends up breaking two of Tanjiro's fingers, and it pretty much gets to the point where Tanjiro is at his mercy, and Gyutaro at I think a couple points proposes that Tanjiro become a demon and will spare his life if he does. And then this pretty much leads to Tanjiro contemplating what would happen if he does indeed become a demon alongside his sister. But of course, with Tanjiro being who he is, he states that he would have accepted any demon slayer to cut off his head as potentially as a mercy killing or something.
I also thought this was interesting that because I actually didn't really consider this throughout ever since they revealed the brother, was that I didn't really think about this almost kind of feels in a way a parallel to Tanjiro and his sister, a kind of what if Tanjiro had become a demon, would this be how it would have been, if he was both him and his sister were demons.
Yeah. And I think there was several points where Tanjiro keeps seeing visions of his sister speaking to him, that Nezuko's tells Tanjiro to not blame himself for every mistake that he's done, that he can't really do everything to protect everyone around him, potentially what happened with Tengen and and all the others. So instead of accepting Gyutaro's proposal to become a demon, he ends up running away from it, and then ends up paralyzing Gyutaro with the poison kunai, which of course ends up preventing Gyutaro from regenerating.
Well, this is actually him running away. He was only using that to kind of make it so that he could get a hold of the kunai. Because of course Gyutaro catches up with him. Because I was wondering at first why Tanjiro was running, But then, you find out later, like, what his plan was. Because when Gyotaro catches up with him, he, before he realized that Tanjiro had stuck the kunai into him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and this, of course, leads to Tanjiro trying to behead him and pretty much using whatever left of the Hinokami Kagura he has left. And this, this leads into another scene where he pretty much sees himself in Gyutaro when he's trying to cut off his head, with him thinking back to what Gyutaro proposed to him into becoming a demon.
Yeah,
which
was a trippy scene, with when he just saw himself when he was about to behead Gyutaro, he was just like seeing his own face.
Yeah, and during the process of Tanjiro trying to cut off Gyutaro's head, Daki tries to intervene, but Zenitsu somehow just bursts out of the rubble and attempts to decapitate Daki with his Godspeed breathing form. But while that's happening, Tanjiro is still in the process of trying to decapitate Gyutaro, but unfortunately he manages to remove the kunai that was stuck in his leg, which of course he's able to counterattack soon afterwards, to the point where he's about to kill Tanjiro. But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Tengen shows up and then just basically just fights Gyutaro just with only one arm.
Yeah, I guess it kind of makes sense how he sort of at least slowed or stopped poisoning, because I think I guess he cut his arm off or something, so as to slow down the poisoning.
I don't know if either he did it or if he I think he lost his arm during his fight against Gyutaro, so I don't know if he intentionally cut it off himself or if Gyutaro did it, but this just leads to just one insane fight scene between the two, with just Tengen just just managing to hold his own with just only one arm, and it just leads to a whole back and forth encounter between the two, and it's just the quality of this animation style just pretty much already tops the last episode, and of course the fight between Akaza and Rengoku from the Mugen Train movie.
Yeah, because they're moving around so quickly when they're just swing their blades against each other's, but the camera's also constantly just kind of moving around as well while this is happening, and not to mention there's also the all while this is happening too, Zenitsu's trying to cut off Daki's head, and I mean just the amount of stuff that's happening at once is just mind-blowing, and the way it's being shown as well. Everything's just so fast-paced.
Mm-hmm. So back to Zenitsu, Zenitsu barely has enough power left to try to decapitate her, but then all of a sudden Inosuke shows up and reveals that the reason why he somehow survived is he moved his internal organs when he was stabbed, which I don't know how that's even possible for him to just suddenly do that without warning,
according to him,
Gyutaro just stabbing him in the back.
According to him, it's because of his him training in the mountains for years or something, which is whatever. But I don't know, because he should be dead. Let's just go ahead and say he should be dead, and it's also. I thought that was kind of they just kind of pulled that out of their ass. He just rearranged his internal organs, so he's fine.
Soon afterwards, he ends up combining his sword with Zenitsu at the same time, and then pretty much successfully cut off Daki's neck. And during the same time, Tanjiro uses the fight between Gyutaro and Tengen as an opening for him to pretty much help decapitate Gyutaro. But in the process, he gets his lower jaw just pretty much skewered by Gyutaro's sickle, which is kind of brutal when you look at it.
Yeah.
He has that thing stuck underneath his jaw, while at the same time he tries to just plunge that his sword through Gyutaro's neck, which is just intense for just by looking at it. And then of course finally like Tanjiro finally successfully decapitates Gyutaro, and then both Gyutaro and Daki are both decapitated literally at the same time, and you see both their heads just pretty much falling next to each other.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like, this is the whole time I was thinking, oh wow, that was like that was like the most, well, probably one of the most brutal and well animated fight scenes I think I've ever seen. And I mean, like, what a way to finish it off. But then of course, plot twist, I guess it's not really over because we see that now that the poison, I guess, is kind of catching up with Tanjiro, and now it's like starting to make him feel like he's about to pass out. While he's about to pass out, like Tengen is like screaming for him to that it's not over, and then he needs to try to I guess like not fall unconscious or whatever, but and of course the last thing we see is like is an explosion. Like it's just I don't know what happened, and it's just like this is when the credits start rolling. Like it just like hangs on that scene, and that's the entire credit sequence. It just hangs there, and there's no after credits. It's just of course the typical skits we see, but like it doesn't really show what happened afterwards. So we're kind of, I mean, we just end off on this just insane cliffhanger. Where it seems like they all just got blown up. But I mean, I'm sure if the way this episode played out is anything to go by, I'm sure they're all probably going to be fine. But it's just an insane cliffhanger to leave off on.
I mean, well, it's like even if they come out of that, you have to consider that just the numerous amount of injuries that everybody sustained just trying to fight these two demons.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they definitely would at least have like some kind of lasting scar, you would think, from what happened. I mean, Tanjiro got his jaw, stabbed into. So I mean, he's I don't know how he's gonna recover from that. Not to mention the poison.
Yeah, not to mention like same thing with Inosuke. He got stabbed in the chest, and I would assume he got poisoned as well. And I don't know about Zenitsu. Like he said, like he put a lot of his energy, like on his legs, just to try to decapitate Daki.
And his legs looked like they were about to tear off too, like when he was doing that.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like it's kind of sucked that that we're left off in such a massive cliffhanger like that. But just the overall quality, just I don't know how Ufotable just keeps topping themselves like almost every single week. Yeah. I've never seen them do this like so consistently for almost like what 3-4 episodes consistently like this. That's just I've never seen them do it like that.
Yeah, I mean they really like they put in so much effort with this series, especially these last few episodes. Like they've just been insane.
Yeah, it's like most of other shows we've seen, like Unlimited Blade Works and then Heaven's Feel, usually there'd be like just a slow break in between episodes, but just like I would say the past month, it's just nonstop, like overall high quality, insane action every single episode we keep seeing.
And it's crazy to think too, like I mean, I don't know exactly how many episodes, but like for multiple episodes, it's basically just been, if you think about it, it's just been this a really long fight scene. Like, at first it was Daki, and now it's like her brother pops up, and then it was just Daki and her brother, and it's just been a fight scene like that, like the past, like, I don't know, like 4 or 5 episodes almost. It's just been this fight scene. So, and I mean, they've just progressively too, like throughout each episode, like it's just gotten even better in terms of the way, the animation of the fight scene.
Yeah, I mean, well, now we have to wait. I would say the season finale of the Entertainment District, which is going to be next week, and it is going to be a double length episode.
Like 47 minutes, 45 minutes, I think.
Well, yeah, this is the second. This is the second double length episode we've seen this season. Now, like it started off like with a double length episode at the start of the season, and now we're getting another double length episode in this one. So you consider that with that the first episode and this could have been maybe a 14 episode season.
Yeah, yeah. If you think about it that way, yeah, it definitely could have been like it would have been that long.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like it sucks now that we're already at the end of it, and hopefully we'll get like an announcement for potentially another season or whatever they're gonna come up with, maybe another movie or something. But yeah, I mean, I definitely enjoyed this so much more than I did like Mugen Train. Of course, I'm talking about the movie, not the not the the
series.
broadcast version.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like this is, I don't know. I really, it's hard for me to say if I enjoy it. Like I mean, like I don't know if I enjoy it story wise more than the other things that the other thing story arcs from Demon Slayer, but like definitely art and animation, or animation wise, it's probably the best. Well, it probably is the best. Yeah, like we've seen from Demon Slayer. So yeah, like probably, I would have to say the best episode so far of Demon Slayer, for sure. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't really have too much else to say about it. I'm definitely excited for the last episode, especially if it's going to be as long as it's set to be. I don't know if you have anything else to say about it.
Yeah, I mean, if I were to guess, I think next week's episode is really going to slow down considerably.
Yeah,
I think, and how much we've seen.
I think the first half of it'll probably be like the potential conclusion to this fight, and then the rest of it'll probably be like the epilogue for this arc in particular.
Yeah, and potentially, hopefully, we'll get a promo or teaser for the next season or movie or whatever, how they're gonna handle the continuation. But yeah, definitely enjoyed like 4 or 5 weeks of like nonstop, like I don't know how to describe this. This is like the best thing that Ufotable has done on like literally on a consistent basis.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I've just been consistently impressed with it. But yeah, so that all being said, until the finale next Sunday, we will see you all next time.